No, both of them. All right. Hey y'all. Hey. Welcome back. I'm back. I know that I took a couple of weeks break. Um, but I'm back, y'all. I'm back. It's been a rough. Not that I. You know what? I'm not gonna even say it's been a rough couple of weeks. I just been extremely busy for the past couple of weeks. But I'm back. Also the podcast. Thank y'all so much again for always thank you again for always tuning in and tapping into what we got going on. I do my best to keep y'all up to date on everything I got going on. I have plenty more flyers and stuff to post as well. So I might as well announce a couple of them on here. Since we're here, I might as well announce a couple of them now. So number one, I am on another internet radio station. So shout out to M4G Radio. Make sure y'all download that app. The Also the radio show will be on M4G Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 8. So you can't miss the Also Dope Radio Show anywhere. We'll be on M4G Radio. We're on Flex Radio and M4G Radio, Flex Radio, and we're on KHAM Radio. So there's three internet radio stations. You cannot miss us at all. So first of all, I just want to thank everybody who shares their platform with me or have me on their platform. I'm loving it and I most definitely appreciate it. Also, uh I just got a lot going. I don't know. That's one of the main things. Everything else you got to follow me on Facebook to keep up with whatever I be posting. I don't have no formula for how I be posting. I just be smacking it on up there. So like I said, October 1st, I'm gonna be on starting October 1st, every Tuesday, 7 to 8. I'm gonna be on M4G radio. So make sure y'all download the app. Okay. Um Also, I'm gonna be starting doing artist interviews. So artists hit me up. The artist interviews will be on Flex Radio page. So make sure y'all hit me up, inbox me. If you're an artist and you want to talk about your new album coming out, your new single coming out, make sure y'all hit me up, inbox me, so we can do your interview on the Flex Radio page. Okay. So my guest today, we're gonna go ahead and get to it. My guest today, okay, this is the cookout edition. Okay, so yes, y'all, I invited someone to the cookout. So I need everyone to gather around and be polite. Be polite. And he did not make the potato salad, okay? All right. So I want to introduce y'all to Paul Savage.
Hey, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
Oh, we're making it. It's been a week, ain't it? When you were talking about the last couple weeks, I was like, I feel that.
So for those who don't know, and so look, this is gonna be weird, y'all, because usually um I usually because I know some of everybody, but y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had to invite him to the cookout because I really don't know Paul. That is absolutely weird. So, and then it's y'all, it's not that I don't know him. It's like we just kind of like voila became friends because we were at so many events together. It's like, hey, hey, and let's be friends. And we've been friends ever since. So look, friendship happens like that.
That's
So
true.
so we are here and we're all getting to know Paul together. So also let me reiterate on this too. Now, just because I interview people from my city, Shreveport, Louisiana, services are offered nationwide. Okay, so I just want y'all to get that clear. Don't get it messed up. Don't get it twisted. Just because I've interviewed people from my city does not mean the services are not offered nationwide. We do stuff virtually. We do stuff through the website. You can get to us from anywhere in the world. So don't get it messed up. We're from Shreveport, but the services are nationwide.
That's right.
Okay. So, Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. So I am the owner of Savage Creative Solutions, a digital and marketing agency headquartered here in Shreveport, Louisiana. but with clients all around the country. And so I like to say if it's marketing, advertising, public relations, or promotional products, we handle it. And then I also am the owner and editor of Shreveport Secrets, a local semi-news kind of blog site that shares only positive news and hidden gems about the Shreveport-Bossier community and what we have going on here. And then I'm also the author of Diary of a Testicular Cancer Survivor, a memoir based on my testicular cancer journey during COVID in 2020. And then the author of Chemo Containment, which is a science fiction novel that kind of came about or was imagined, I guess you could say, as I was going through my treatment. Kind of helped me get through that treatment.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was really exciting to be able to put those thoughts and words into a book afterwards.
That's dope. Okay, so we have oh look, y'all, because y'all know I come up with my questions spur of the moment sometimes. So I want to know where do you want to start? What do we need to talk about first? So okay, let's start. Let's start here. Let's start from the how did you get to where you are? It's so far it's like starting your own business.
Yeah. So I kind of knew that I wanted to run my own agency from a very young age. Practically when I went into college, that was pretty much my goal at that point. And it was just a matter of how I was going to get there in my mind, I guess. So I graduated from Centenary in 2015 and started working for KSLA News 12. Kind of learned the digital and kind of TV side of marketing and advertising, and realized that that's where my true passion lied. And so I joined another local agency as a graphic designer and digital specialist here in Shreveport, and really got to learn kind of the business side of running an agency. It was a smaller agency, so I was able to take on probably a lot more roles and tasks than most employees would get to take on in an agency. And so that really helped me explore the business side and learn the business side as well. And shortly after that, I got the opportunity to serve as the Director of Marketing, Communications, and Public Relations for the Greater Shreveport Chamber.
Okay.
And so in that position, I was able to kind of advocate on behalf of the businesses that I had been doing work for before, but also learn more of the legislative and political side that often impacts business owners as well. And so I was there for about a year before COVID hit. And right as COVID hit is when I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. So thankfully I was furloughed during that time and was able to go through my chemo treatments and kind of heal. But shortly after coming back from that is when I really had that push. It gave me a new perspective on life. And I was like, there's no time like the present.
Come on.
And so I ended up going full time with my agency then shortly after. And I've been full time now for about 3 years.
Wow. So you have a lot of experience with different businesses and you've just been through a lot and now you're here. That's so awesome. Okay, so let's talk about I guess let's start with Shreveport Secrets.
Okay.
How did Shreveport Secrets come about?
So it was around 2018, 2019, when I really started noticing kind of the vocal majority, if you will, that was spreading negativity about Shreveport and even in some instances Bossier and just our community in general. And having been involved in the community with the Shreveport Chamber and some of the other local organizations, I knew how much good we had happening here. And that was something that I really saw shown on the media or even published in other areas. And I don't know how many times, I'm sure you can relate to this as well. And it happened, and then somebody goes, I never even knew that was happening, or I never even knew that was here. And a lot of times it's their third, fourth year having it, and they don't even know about it.
Right.
And so I was like, number one, I'm going to let the people know all the positive things and only positive things that we have happening in Shreveport-Bossier. And then number two, my goal was to drive down those negative stories or the negative press that often popped up when you search the name Shreveport. And so my goal was to utilize the social platform for reach, but also have the website component to help drive down and share some of that more positive stuff when people search for our community. And I've actually had really good success for it. I was just looking before we got on here. just in the last 28 days, Shreveport Secrets has shown up in Google results 119,000 times. So we've done a pretty good job of helping push down some of
Okay.
those negative stories.
Okay, that's cool. And I noticed you, well, I've noticed, and you've probably been doing, but like I personally have noticed that you've been doing more videos as well.
Yeah, and so video was something that I had kind of pushed to the side for a long time,
Mhm.
and we'll kind of get into a little bit more as we talk about some of the other things. But it's a one-man show. So when an article goes up on Shreveport Secrets, it's me collecting all the information, me
Mhm.
verifying the information, me writing the article, me collecting or going to take any photos
Mhm.
for it, editing any videos, scheduling those videos on social media. Uh, and so when I first started, I was like, we're going to focus on just one portion of this first, being the
Okay.
social and that component. And now that I've kind of gotten a better handle of that and kind of got a better workflow for that, I've added in video, particularly as video has gotten more reach and more engagement on social media,
Mhm.
and we've kind of shifted or pivoted to video, if you will. I've kind of started working to throw more video in there as well.
And I like it. I like the video.
Thank you.
I like the video. I was like, okay, he's showing his face a little more with the video.
All right,
Go far. Okay. So
look at me picking out that green screen.
what do you consider, or what do you consider a Shreveport secret?
So let me start from the beginning with that too, because I think this kind of feeds into that question. So when I
Okay.
first Shreveport Secrets, I was like, we're only going to focus on Shreveport, hence the name Shreveport Secrets.
Hmm.
And the more I started going about it and kind of writing articles and sharing different things, the more I realized that kind of one of the biggest secrets and one of the best parts about our communities is Bossier's right next to Shreveport and Shreveport is right next to Bossier. And
Hmm.
each have different amenities that they have to offer, different events that they have to offer, and kind of cater to different audiences and different people. But the fact that we can go right over the river on either side and, 10 to 15 minutes is probably one of the best secrets for anybody who doesn't live here, because there's so much that you can do and you don't have to worry about driving 45 minutes or getting stuck in traffic or
Right.
all those other things. You don't have to leave an hour early to try to get to an event because you're worried about traffic or something, like in
Right.
Dallas. And so I think that's one of the coolest things. But one of the second components to that was I wanted to make sure that we gave exposure to people and organizers who didn't necessarily get it. So there's certain events in our community that are going to get press coverage and tons of media coverage
Right.
every year,
Right.
regardless of how much they put out or how much work they kind of do. Um, and so I've worked specifically to make sure that we are able to get more exposure for some of those festivals and organizations that people may
Mhm.
not know about or don't necessarily get that coverage.
Okay. That's dope. That is dope. And let me give y'all the website for Shreveport Secrets as well, so you guys can go to the website and check it out. Can people contact you about a Shreveport secret?
Yeah, we have a form on the website where they can share a story or share kind of a press release.
Okay.
They can also send it directly to my email, paul@savagecreative.solutions. And a lot of times people will just send me a Facebook message and say, hey, did you know about this? Or tag me in a Facebook
Mhm.
post when they see a cool event they don't know if I know about. And that's how I often find out about a lot of the things that are happening here. Because I still find it amazing that as somebody who actively seeks out things to do here, I
Mhm.
still find new things to do.
Oh yeah.
Um, that shows you how much there really is going on in our community.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Agree. 100% agree. So what has been so far? What has been your favorite Shreveport secret?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
If you have a few, that's fine. But give us a few of your favorite Shreveport secrets.
So I think a lot of the Shreveport secrets that have kind of been impactful to me are a lot of the food trucks.
Mhm.
Um, Mostly because they move around a lot, so people don't necessarily keep up with them as much.
Right.
But I wrote a story about this quesadilla food truck, and about a week later, I was out a couple drinks at the bar, and he came up to me and he said, "Is your name Paul Savage?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Well, I just wanted to let you know that I'm the owner of that food truck, and we sold out that week that you
Wow.
posted that article, and I just wanted to personally thank you
Wow.
for writing about that." And so I think that was one of the coolest secrets, or kind of the coolest moments that I've
Mhm.
shared, was not only being able to share a small business, but being able to see the impact that
Mhm.
a platform like Shreveport Secrets could have. Because we are the only pop news source in our community.
Right, right. Okay, that's look at come on, Keith Lee. Got the Keith Lee effect going on. That is pretty cool that your platform is helping people find different Shreveport secrets around here. I think that's really cool and heartwarming as well to help, because
Yeah.
I mean a lot of these businesses are opening up and shutting down in the blink of an eye. So I think
And on that note, there's so I mentioned kind of wanting to make sure we covered festivals that don't get enough attention and things like that. But equity amongst all the businesses here locally was something that was very important to me as well. So we don't charge any business to cover a
Mhm.
story on them. The only way we make money, and I say make money lightly,
Oh yeah, I
is
get it.
through the advertising on the website. And I did that purposely to make sure that it wasn't a pay for play, and all of the same players were the ones that were able to get their story or their message out there, and to again
Yeah,
ensure that everybody could share whatever they had going on.
good. That's awesome. That is awesome. So what is your next goal for Shreveport Secrets?
So my next goal is, and we're somewhat rolling it out right now. Um, so like I said, I don't charge anybody, and so that's been a bit of contention within
Mhm.
myself as the business owner, because it does cost quite a bit of money to run Shreveport Secrets as we've grown. Our website traffic has maxed out like 2 or 3 times now, and we've had to upgrade the hosting, which costs more
Wow.
money. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
one of my goals specifically for this year and going into early next year is to move away from the Google Ads model that is kind of on the site right now,
Mhm.
and move it to a solely local advertisers model.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that number one, we can help offset some of those costs a little bit and continue to run the site. Because
Mhm.
there was a time when I ain't even gonna lie, that last hosting upgrade, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if we gonna keep. I don't know if this is gonna
I
work."
get it. I get it.
Uh, so that's one of my next goals, is to kind of be able to offset that cost, but still provide support for small businesses and have all of those ads be
Mhm.
highlighting and showcasing local businesses in our community.
That's good. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. Um, so okay, so what you want to talk about next?
Uh,
You want to go ahead and talk about your business, the creative solutions?
yeah, we can go and talk about it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next. I'm just excited that the guests that I be having multiple businesses. So it's like, look, I like my guest, the guy to interview a little bit. Like, which one of your businesses do you want to talk about? Like, we want to talk about this business, this business. So I think it's really dope that you have multiple businesses. So let's go ahead and talk about Savage Creative Solutions. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. How did you get there? How did you?
So I started it right out of college, and it was kind of a side hustle for the longest time.
Mhm.
And each job that I went to, I kind of made it a point that if I can't grow, then I at least want to keep what I have. So if it's a conflict of interest, I understand that. I won't add any more clients, but I'm not going to get rid of clients I already have. And that was
Mhm.
a philosophy and kind of thought process that I took through multiple positions in my career. And that's
Mhm.
ultimately what allowed me to then make that final jump, and do the business full time. I'd actually tried to do that, I believe it was 2 times before
Mhm.
then, and ended up going back to a full time job. Um,
Mhm.
it was just, I don't think people realize sometimes they see self employed or hear self employed, and it sounds great. But I'm one of those people where like I'll do whatever you ask, tell me what to do, and I will knock it out. But having somebody to tell me what to do, and so that was a really big change for me of knocking something out and then having to go to myself and say, okay, what's next? What's the priority?
Right.
Even estimate how long it's going to take. But ultimately, after doing it 3 years now, I finally kind of gotten into the groove. We've changed up our business models a little bit.
Okay.
So we used to do kind of a large upfront sum for web designs, which is kind of one of our main services that we offer. It's one of our most popular. But we changed up that model to now be $150 payment for 12 months. So it's spread out over 12 months. And they
Okay.
get monthly support, all of their hosting, and their custom web design off of that. And that was something that I did because as I've grown, we've gotten larger and larger clients, which is great. Those are the ones that pay bills. But my heart is still with the small businesses, and
Right.
particularly the small businesses in Shreveport Bossier. And so by changing to that model, that allowed us to not only have a more predictable recurring income, but also be able to keep that price affordable for smaller businesses as well.
Okay. Okay. So when you built your business, did you start with, and I'm asking this for people who are multi-talented in the digital market, because we do some everything, right? And some people don't know exactly where to start. So did you start with a particular skill and build up on that, or did you put all your skills in one and say this is everything I do?
So I don't know if I should say that. Okay, so so basically, I started with a couple different skills. So I knew digital marketing and social media pretty well, and
Mhm.
I knew web design pretty well. And I kind of started with those. Um, and then things grew from there. So another client would come and say, okay, you're already doing my website, you're doing this. Can you do video?
Mhm.
And back in, 2019, 2020, whenever that was, I would say yes and then pray to the Lord that I could find some YouTube videos and it all turned out good.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I know, I know. Oh, I know. Oh,
And
I
I
know.
did that with multiple skills, just as
Yeah.
something would come up and they'd say, can you do it? And at that point, when you don't know where your money's coming from, because you ain't got another paycheck necessarily coming on the 1st or the 15th, you say yes and you figure it out.
Come on.
And
Come on.
so that's what I did. And that's how I kind of built the agency up to where it is now and kind of grew my skill set until basically we can cover anything under those areas for any
Yeah.
client.
I get it. Because I tell people that too, like some of my media skills, especially with videography and editing, um man, I can't even tell you how many times to be like on my job. I can't tell you how many times. Hey, can you do this? Me? Hell yeah. I'm ready. Give me
Yeah.
my Can I? Yes, I can. Just give me a day or two and I will have this ready for you. And then as soon as I get in my office, I'm on YouTube like this. And then
Googling
they
how to as you're on the phone.
because I really just learned, I just like I've just really learned how to really work the green screen. Like I'm gonna say last year.
Yep.
I'm gonna say last year they wanted some on the green screen, and I'm like,
I mean, that's like me and that TikTok green screen we were talking about earlier.
yeah,
I've used the green screen, but I do it with like Premiere or something because that's how we always had to edit videos for different clients and stuff. So then
okay,
I got into TikTok and I'm like, okay, this is a little different.
yeah. See, I don't do. I'm Final Cut Pro.
Okay,
Yeah,
Final Cut.
Premiere gives me a headache.
I hear that.
It gives me a headache. Like I've been on YouTube several times because I do want to learn how to do Final Cut and Premiere, to be versatile. But it's something about Premiere that I just can't, or maybe I haven't just dedicated enough time to really do it. But it's something about a Premiere that I just can't. I can't grip it. I can't.
I think the only reason I got it a
Oh,
little easier probably was because it's an Adobe product and having already
okay.
worked in
Oh
Photoshop,
yeah,
Illustrator.
yeah,
Some of
yeah.
it looks familiar, even though it's video related. So it probably helped with that a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, Adobe, I'm just like, yeah, I need Final Cut Pro, please. Yes, you have to purchase it because yes, you have to
All
purchase
right.
it, Final Cut Pro. That's the only way y'all going, that's the only way y'all finna get this to work. So my next question is, do you do since you know so much and I know that you are a type of person to spread knowledge, do you do, for anybody that's watching that's ready to relearn or update their skills? Um do you do any seminars or workshops?
Yes, so I'm actually in the process of a couple of different things. I don't have the exact date nailed down yet, but we're going to do a fun, I'm calling it a website roast. So you can
Okay.
sign up, share your website address, and during the workshop live, we'll walk through all of the different websites and talk about the pros and the cons and some things
Okay.
that you could do to work better and what probably isn't working the best.
Okay.
So we'll website roast.
I
It'll
like
be fun
that.
and help you grow.
I like
And then the other
I like
part
that.
is I told you I saved a little
Yeah,
nugget for your
we're here
podcast.
for it. We're here for it.
Um, it'll either be launching, actually tomorrow's Friday, so it'll be launching tomorrow. I'm launching the extension of Savage Creative Solutions called Savage Creative Academy. And what that's going to be is a bunch of courses for the do-it-yourselfer, or that person at their work that just got thrown into the marketing role, kind of got tacked on, because we know that often happens in the marketing field as well.
Absolutely.
Um, and so it'll be courses that'll kind of walk them through all of it. It'll cover most of the things that I do on the daily. So there'll be a course that teaches you how to design your website or find inspiration and make your website look like that. There was a workshop that I held not too long ago called the Digital and Social Harmony Workshop that
Okay.
kind of highlighted how digital advertising and social media work together. That workshop was specifically to target the influx of visitors that were coming to Shreveport for the Humor and Harmony Festival.
Okay.
So I kind of retweaked that course to be a digital and social media course that's not necessarily connected to that event, but that could be
Okay.
applicable for multiple businesses and multiple industries. And that's just the tip of the iceberg for some of the courses that will be coming there. So I'm looking
Okay.
forward to that.
Oh, that's gonna be fire. Oh, I like that. I really do. So for those of you, if you're watching, rewatching, listening, re-listening, y'all please go check out Paul Savage and all of the services and workshop and clay. He got a whole academy finna pop off. You know what I'm saying? So because what I don't like, is when people act like services are not available. Like
Right.
services and resources are not available. Like if you want to get into digital media stuff, there are people. Let me
Rewind.
run it back. Okay. There are people here who have plenty of knowledge about what you're trying to do. You just have to be willing to pay, okay? Because everybody don't have free classes. We have bills, just like everybody else. So all
Time and
classes, right. So all the resources are not necessarily free, but you have to be willing to pay, put in work, and ask questions. Like a lot of people like just don't ask.
Yeah, and
And
I was
I'm
fine.
just
It's funny you
yeah.
say that. I was finalizing getting that set up too. The Academy also has a kind of message board and forum built into it as well. So all of the viewers who sign up for one of the courses can join that forum as well and ask questions about something that maybe isn't the way they expected, or even just a general question about how they should go about something. So it's almost kind of like a free consultation within the message boards. And of course, you can see all the other questions that anybody else has asked too, so everybody can build and grow with each other.
See, that's awesome. Look, I got a whisper. That's awesome. That's dope, y'all. So if y'all paying attention, y'all, Paul Savage, he got the knowledge. He has the knowledge. He has the experience. He has the answer. So y'all make sure y'all go to his websites. And I'm gonna put this one back up here, savagecreative.solution, and just be on the look. And I share everything. So if you have to just pay attention to my page, I will be gladly talking about it or posting his flyers. So those of you who are trying to get in the digital market, digital media, digital market, whatever type of digital, Paul Savage does it all. So when I don't feel like answering your questions, I'm sending you to Paul.
There you go.
Because I get tired. So y'all are going to Paul, so y'all can leave me alone. You're going to Paul. Okay. I'm saying go to your dad. Go to Paul. Daddy. Come on. That is definitely so awesome. Okay, so now let's talk about your books.
Okay.
So
go ahead. Okay, yeah. The first one is Diary of a Testicular Cancer Survivor.
Okay.
And that one actually started out as an online blog. So once I started going through my journey, I was getting a lot of messages and text messages and had an immense amount of support, which I was thankful for and really needed during that time. But I had 3 rounds of chemo that I had to go through in about a 3-month period. And I just couldn't keep up with all of the messages that I was receiving, and I didn't want anybody to feel left out if I was able to respond to some, but others. So I was like, I'm just going to put together a blog post every time something important happens, or sometime I have like a thought throughout this journey, and I'm just going to share it to this blog.
Yeah.
And so it ended up kind of becoming an 18-month chronicle of everything that happened on my journey throughout that. And it was about a year after I had officially gone into remission that wife, it was either a wife or a mother, I can't remember now, but somebody who had testicular cancer reached out and thanked me for sharing my journey so candidly and asked if I'd ever considered publishing it as a book. And I was like, I hadn't. And so a few months after that, it was those blog posts were compiled into a book, and that's what ultimately became Diary of a Testicular Cancer Survivor. And so it covered from my first doctor's visit all the way through me being placed into remission, actually getting COVID a couple of times because I think I playing the alphabet game and getting every variant they had from being immunocompromised.
Oh yeah.
That ended up kind of playing into it a bit. And then really after that, it kind of ends on kind of the positivity and the faith and the hope that I really found through that whole journey. Because then that really happened during that time was my faith grew exponentially. I found happiness and humor in things that I didn't think I could find that in, and it really helps you get through some of those darker moments in your life.
Oh yeah. I had multiple brain aneurysms, so I look. I understand. I get it. Yeah, listen. Yeah. So, and that's why I tell people, like, sometimes people ask me like why I'm so happy all the time. I'm like, bruh, I remember when I literally didn't have a life. Like, I remember laying in the bed, waiting on people to feed me, waiting on somebody to change my diaper, waiting on somebody to comb my hair. Like, listen, you have to go through, sometimes you really have to go through some stuff to understand like the real definition of happy. Like, every time I don't have to have assistance walking, it's the best day ever.
I hear that. And it's like, I talked about finding humor in those things. I'll just ask the viewer, have you ever had an itch that you can't itch? Like you can't move and you can't itch?
I get it.
Talk about a little bit of torture.
Yes, I get it, but that is so that I might need to get one of those books. I really want to see how you got through
Yeah, I
all
actually
that.
have a copy here of each one I read.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I really want to see. I started on the book. I started on the book, but for me, it's so tough. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
It's
it really is.
it's extreme. It's extremely it brings back like when you go through I call it trauma like that. It just brings back so many relapses, so many unwanted memories that you kind of put, you kind of put it in your in a pocket in your brain. You don't want to think about it, but as soon as you start writing about it, it's like tears just fall on the paper. It's like, ah.
Well, a lot of times, like moments in your life are moving so quick and decisions are being made that it
Mm-hmm.
takes looking back on it sometimes to realize what all like you go through and how far you really have come. So in
Oh,
those respects, it was kind of cool that I had decided to chronicle that because I can see where I started from the beginning and to where I
mm,
am now. I actually don't think I mentioned this to you, but some of the mothers and wives, when they reached out, talked about how they had wished their son or their father had done what I had done and kind of chronicled things. And so I actually designed and created, I called it the My Cancer Journey Journal, and it's
okay.
available on Amazon. And it's got 75 pages, one for each day of their chemo cycle. And they can go and write how they're feeling, things they need to ask the doctor, because let me tell you, chemo brain is real. And then
Yeah.
some different thoughts and ideas that they had that day so that they can look back and see how far they what they had gone through and where they are now on the other side of that.
That's nice because sometimes I think that's very good for people because sometimes it's just hard to talk to people no matter who it is because a lot of people suspect you to be strong all the time. It's like, nah, we break. We break. And sometimes
And
you
that
don't want
was
to.
something I was very intentional about, was making sure that I covered both the good and the bad of the
Okay.
journey. Uh,
Okay.
you really truly appreciate the good unless you know the bad and remember the bad and where you started from, kind of thing. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's so awesome. Now look, I'm gonna have to go buy all your books. That's so, I am so oh gosh, that is so awesome. So what is the next goal for yourself?
so I'm in the process of writing a book. So that's been slow going, particularly with work and everything that's going on. And I know you know how it is. You hit that block sometime, and it's like
Yeah, yeah.
so that's my goal, is to get that book written. And then my ultimate goal with kind of Savage Creative Solutions would
Hmm.
be to hire kind of a contractor worker, if you will,
Okay.
that could take on some of the work that I do and allow me to move into more of that kind of CEO and president role that I would like
Oh
to be
yeah,
in versus
yeah,
that every day. And
yeah,
even just not having to stay up till like 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning some nights trying to get this stuff
yeah,
done, have a little
yeah.
help. That would be the goal for that. And then Shreveport Secrets, of course, the goal would be to have more local businesses advertising on the site and kind of promoting them.
Do you have any? I see you have. Is that a Shreveport secret merchant? You have Shreveport secret merchandise?
Not
Is that a
yet.
Shreveport? Oh, see, I'm oh my god.
But yes, the store is coming. So we will have a
Okay.
store that. Well.
Look, I'm all about when people because I do my best to support people the best way I can. And so like if you have merchandise, because sometimes I might not need a website, I might not need no digital marketing or no website done. I'm like, how can I support that? Look, Daddy Paul, because I'm sending y'all to your Daddy Paul. How can I support Daddy Paul? So when you get that merchandise, like, I'm here for it.
Love it.
I'm
But
definitely
like,
here.
I had to get the sample product first and, wear it for a little bit because I ain't going to ask y'all to buy something I wouldn't buy or wear.
Absolutely, 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 absolutely. I get it. I get it. So I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I saw you post it, and of course, I'm a big back, so I got excited. What is up with you buying the domain 318 ATE?
Yeah.
What's up with I wanna know.
So it's actually going to, so a couple of years ago, I started down this journey or path of trying to develop an app for iOS and Android.
Okay.
And I'll kind of get to that part in a minute, but at the time, I trademarked the name 318 ATE because I
Okay.
wanted that to be the name of the app. And basically, the app was, or is rather, um, a Tinder for local restaurants, but it's not
Mhm.
one-to-one. So you start out by adding everybody in your group, so it could be 3, 4, and then you swipe on the different local restaurants that are pulled in through a Yelp API. And then when everybody matches, it kind of brings you to a message chat where then you can go eat. And it kind of came from this idea. I don't know about you, but I have some of the most indecisive friends. So anytime we're trying to go out to eat, it's like, what do you want? I don't know. What do you want? I don't care. How about this? Anything but that.
Yes, that's me.
And so I was
That's
like,
me.
if anything, this is going to help me.
Right.
But so I kind of went down the path of developing as an iOS and Android app. And when I tried to buy the domain name, then somebody had bought it up and purchased it so that I couldn't get it. So we went with 18.app, and that was going to be the website for it. But after getting kind of the pricing on it and kind of putting some money into it, it wasn't in the direction that I really liked. And it was about, I'll just be honest with you, it was about the price of another car mortgage. So if I wasn't liking it, then we weren't going to move forward all the way and just keep
Right.
moving down the path. So I kind of took a step back from that, talked to some mentors about it, and kind of am altering that a little bit. And now that we have secured the 318.com, it's going to become a web app instead. So it'll be available on desktop or mobile devices. You can still save the icon on your phone just like a normal app, but it won't have that maintenance of having to
Okay.
keep up with Android or iOS updates every time they put out a new update and that sort of thing.
Okay, I got you. So, and you mentioned mentor. How have your mentors helped you on this entrepreneur journey of yours? Because I tell people as well, mentors are important. Because
Absolutely.
I know mine get sick of me.
Not,
I
I don't know
know
about you,
mine get
but
tired of me. So like, how important are your mentors for you?
they're the foundation, the backbone.
Mhm.
I would not be successful without my mentors. And a lot of times, I'm a big thinker, big idea kind of guy. I get an
Mhm.
idea, I'm ready to go run and do it right then and there.
Yeah, that's me.
And don't necessarily think about everything that goes along with it when I do. And my mentors are usually the ones that bring me back down to earth, bring me back down to
Mhm.
reality, and be like, "Oh, okay, that's a great idea, but what do you need to do first? Kind of
Mhm.
how are you gonna handle this? Like things that you don't think about." I was like, "Oh, I pay to develop the app, right? That's already expensive enough." But then kind of find out that you have to host the app somewhere. The
Mhm.
All that user data has to be in a cloud store somewhere. You've got to pay for that. The more users you have, the more you pay.
Mhm.
And it's not just the development of the app. Anytime there's a new Android update, a new iOS update, you've got to pay for development again to bring it up to par with that.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, what was looking at, it was about $15,000 in the beginning. It turned out to be more of like a $45,000, $50,000 project. by the time you account all of those expenses, iOS and Android side. So me
Mm,
having a computer science background, started doing a little research, and I found a coding language that's universal across both platforms in a way that we can bring it into a web app. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna go down this path, cost by about 2/3, and
yeah,
we're finally back kind of on that development journey again, because we did take a pause, and I was a little worn out, to be honest, after that first
yeah,
experience of, dropping checks and then it not turning out the way that you like, and
yeah, yeah.
nothing worse than having that vision in your head and it's just not hitting.
Oh, you know
And
what? I tell people that too. I said us creative people, I said we think way different. So it's like if you come to an event that I put on, y'all might say y'all had a wonderful, fabulous time. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, that ain't even this ain't even much what I wanted. This was not, I mean, I'm glad y'all had a good time, but this ain't even close to what this was supposed to be.
that's
So
me looking at a web. I'll look at a website on a mobile device or something and nitpick over 5 pixels because I'm like, that ain't lined
yes.
up right there. And it's probably nobody else would notice. But in my head, it's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
that looks
Oh yeah.
good.
Yeah. And even like when people look at my pictures, oh, this is beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, oh no, no, shit. I mean, like, no shit. This is terrible. I forgot to, lighten it up here, or I forgot to darken it here, and they just think this is the ninth wonder of the world. I'm like, this is crap. This is not no. So no,
You get it.
I get it. I get it. So, one more time, run through again for people who are just, hey, Lyman. I love me some Lyman. Lyman, my
Hey,
friend.
Lami.
um, Go ahead and run through the services that you offer again for people who just tuning in. So if y'all are just tuning, because I know y'all be late tuning in, so I'm not gonna act like everybody tunes in on time. But no matter how people are tuning in right now, I get the party going because I got stuff to do. I
Right.
got stuff to do. So if I say I'm starting at 6 o'clock, 5:59, you need to be tuned in because by the time you click in, the party be over with. So you look, we got stuff to do.
Right.
So for those who are tuning in, listening, or re-listening, I have today Paul Savage of Shreveport Secret. So if you have a Shreveport secret, or if you know a place that he needs to go, or go check out, go visit, or go eat at, or whatever, please, by all means, make sure y'all are following him on Facebook and just send him a message. We friendly. Just send him a message so he can get there as well. And also, let me put that website back up, shreveportsecrets.com. And he also has, is it a group or a Facebook page? I can't remember which one it is.
There's both. There's actually a group and a Facebook page.
Okay, so he has a
Facebook
group
page where we share kind of all of our stories and stuff, and then the
okay.
group is really for anybody to share whatever they know about, whatever they've seen that's going on. We really encourage the
Okay.
community to kind of share within that group.
Okay, cool. So y'all make sure y'all join the Shreveport Secrets. Get on the website, get on the Facebook page, and get in the group and let us know what's popping in Shreveport. Because even though we've been staying here all our lives, we don't be know. Sometimes we just run into it. We don't be know. We just run into it like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
And it definitely could be the best thing ever.
I mean, they will come.
Right. So, and then also he's over Savage Creative Solutions. So once again, run down the services that you offer.
Yeah. So we cover marketing, advertising, public relations, promotional products, and printing. So basically, that includes web design, digital advertising, social media advertising. So Google ads, Facebook ads, TikTok, Pinterest, Snapchat. And then there's CTV ads. We can handle those as well. So we do video production, commercial production, and we're also a Hulu certified agency partner. so we can help you get your message on Hulu here locally, and Hulu also allows you to kind of target it the same way you would on Facebook with different interests and demographics and TV channels and that sort of thing. So that's a really cool way to be able to get your message out there. We do marketing strategy and consultations to help kind of guide you on how you can increase your reach or your engagement and reach your goals.
And a lot of people need that. I'm just putting that out there.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Y'all do not. I listen. I honestly can go another hour. But y'all, marketing is important, and everybody don't know what they doing. Okay, so Daddy Paul, yeah, Daddy Paul, he knows. So go to Daddy. Daddy got you, and get some.
That's right. Oh, and then the last component of that is the print and promo side. So we can print everything that we design as well. So if we design a business card or flyer for you, we can print it as well. We also have promotional products like car magnets, feather flags, all that as well. Yeah, basically any of those marketing, advertising, public relations, or printing, we can help you with it.
Okay. And when does the Academy launch?
So the pre-sign up for the Academy will launch tomorrow, and then the Academy courses available will launch on October 1st.
Okay, so listen, y'all. Listen, I'm just here to bring I've just been bringing y'all the resources. Oh, and your books. Talk about your books one more time. Run down your books again.
Yeah, so Diary of a Testicular Cancer Survivor, which is the memoir about my journey. You can find on my website there, paulsavagejr.com, or that one's available on Amazon. And then Chemo Containment, the sci-fi fiction book, is available at pretty much any online retailer. So Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, basically anywhere you can shop online for a book, that one's available.
Okay. So listen, y'all. I like my interviews to be fun, but I do my best to try to bring the resources as well. So look, I brought Daddy Paul to the cookout. I brought Daddy Paul to the cookout, and once again, just because he's from Shreveport and he's a Shreveport resident does not mean that his services are limited to Shreveport. So to everybody who's listening, any and everywhere, all over, the websites, if you miss something, you can inbox me as well, and I will give y'all his websites and other types of information. So just because we're from Shreveport doesn't mean services are limited to Shreveport. These are services everywhere. So all my friends all over the world, all over this big old world, y'all please tap in with, I call him Dad. Look, now his new name is Daddy Paul. But y'all tap in with Paul Savage of Shreveport Secrets. Or you know what, Paul might travel. If you have a different city secrets, if he needs to tap in secrets in other cities, listen, I'm sure he'll travel, and I'm sure I'll be right behind him. Y'all know I hit the road in a heartbeat.
Website, that's a good point. We do have a special website section we call Surrounding Secrets, and it covers anything 300-mile radius for weekend vacation sort of thing. So yeah, if y'all are anywhere around there as well, hit me up. I'd love to include y'all and let Shreveport residents know about what we have off that close as well. Because I think a lot of people forget that too. A lot of time we have so many secrets and hidden gems in our communities, but sometimes it's right next door too.
Oh yeah.
You can go to and stay the weekend in, or something like that.
Oh, you know what? While it's on my mind, while it hit my mind, I know who you can get in touch with. She does a lot of traveling with her friends and been a lot of places. If you get in touch with Karen LeBeau, you know who Karen LeBeau is?
Her name sounds familiar. We might be Facebook friends. I'm gonna reach
Okay,
out to her.
reach out to Karen, because I interviewed her. I call her TD. That's TD. That's TD right there. So reach out to Karen LeBeau, because she does a lot of traveling, like spur of the moment traveling sometimes to different surrounding cities, and she go to different places and eat and stuff like that. So you might want to please get in touch with her, and she can tell you like some of the places she's been in surrounding areas, and she posts about them too. She posts and make videos, about them too. So I'm sure she can help you out with the surrounding secrets.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because that's something I'd like to expand to. We don't have too many right now since, Shreveport was her focus, but somebody like
Right.
her would be a great addition to be able to kind of add to some of those
Oh
surrounding
yeah.
areas.
Yeah. So we already went through. Look, I'm trying to make sure we covered everything. We went through your services. We talked about Shreveport Secrets. We talked about Savage Creative Solutions. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. And you know what? I'm sure Paul will probably, if you need a customized bundle, I'm sure Paul can customize a bundle for you as well. So sometimes you might need
several bundles.
See, we specialize and customize for the customers, and then he has books. So anybody who's going through anything, y'all make sure y'all check out his book on how he survived testicular cancer. Whew, some words be hard to say, and I got to say it real. I got to say it real slow. He survived testicular cancer, and he actually wrote about him. So make sure y'all check out. I'm sure in the book is how he dealt with things. Because I'm sure that was pretty. The word cancer just makes me shiver. So like dealing with it,
because I thought cancer would be the C word that scared me, but it was actually chemo. Because that's when you think of chemo, you think of like the frail old man that's like barely able to walk, and like just that picture that conjures up when you hear people going through chemo isn't the most optimistic when you're trying to go through it. Just like,
yeah. So make sure y'all check that out and get the journal. Yeah, make sure y'all get that journal so you can express yourself. Express yourself to yourself. So sometimes you might not be comfortable all the time talking to everybody, or expressing yourself to certain people. So get the journal so you can express yourself to yourself. So what I ask my guests to do, well, you're not a guest, you're Daddy Paul, Big Daddy Paul. Well, what I ask my guests to do to end the show is just give some type of, and you can give it both ways. You have any inspirational, motivational words for businesses, and inspirational or motivational words for people who are going through something.
So, and this is something I actually wanted to get into a little bit too. So this will work perfect, and I think it'll cover the question that you were asking. So I mentioned earlier that one of the things that really grew during that time of having cancer was my faith. And something looking back now, I can see how every piece of that puzzle fit together. But that wasn't necessarily something I could see in the beginning. So I remember I had gone to church, but it kind of fallen off going to church and wasn't necessarily going every Sunday. And when I interviewed for the advertising agency that I mentioned in Shreveport that I worked for, the CEO said something that really stuck with me, and that was, I may be the owner of this company, but the CEO is our Lord. And is that okay with you? And yes, absolutely. That was fine, even not really knowing what that meant at that point. But I got several sons, if you will, throughout my time working there. And it was a very loving, caring environment. We were very open with each other, and we ultimately became a really close family. And that became like the church that I wasn't necessarily going to before. And so I remember when I got offered the position of director of marketing and all that at the Shreveport Chamber, I really had to think about that. And that was the first time that I had prayed about a job before I accepted it. And so I remember praying about it, and it ultimately worked through. And on my first day there, they were setting up my phone for me, and my call extension was 0521, which is my birthday, May 21st.
Okay.
And so I took the sign from the Lord. I was like, okay, it was tough leaving that last place. That was so great, but this is where I'm supposed to be. And ultimately, that was one of the pieces that fit into that, because at the advertising agency, I didn't have insurance. And I ultimately gained insurance when I moved to the Shreveport Chamber. And it was about 2 weeks after I started at the Shreveport Chamber that I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And so I would not have had insurance for that entire journey if I had not accepted that position and followed that was laid out for me. And in every of my career seems to be a piece of that puzzle, whether it's learning the TV side from KSLA, the business side from the agency, all of that's kind of led me to where I am now. And so I guess my message would be that even if things seem confusing right now, and even if you don't understand where you're at exactly, like, I promise you it's a piece of the puzzle and you just can't see that full puzzle yet. So don't give up, keep building that puzzle, and you'll ultimately be able to see that beautiful picture of where you're supposed to be.
Oh Lord. I got to catch these tears, Jesus. Oh Lord, okay. I needed that. See, that's why
Yeah.
That's why I be telling y'all, these podcasts ain't for y'all. This podcast for me. I be telling people that. Sometimes the podcast, I be trying to bring the resource, but sometimes the podcast ain't for them. That word, well, that's for me. I'm a hallelujah myself to sleep tonight. Yeah,
there you go. I love it.
You know what? Let's go ahead and end this before I get to shouting over. Lord, God is good.
Indeed, God is good.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm just gonna shout hallelujah till I fall asleep, because that was for me. And I love you and I appreciate you, because that word was for me.
Good. I'm glad. I love it.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for always tuning in, and I'll catch y'all next round.